Hey guys, welcome back to Off the Top Podcast. We're here with our 17th episode.
17th episode, baby.
Number 17. And today we're talking about gratitude. Like that long pause?
Yeah, I like
for
that.
For effect.
Adds suspense.
It does.
Adds character.
Adds interest levels of our 10
Of
viewers.
our viewers.
Anyway, thank you guys for viewing. But
yeah.
if you're listening right now, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're just gonna keep adding long pauses.
Yeah.
Through this episode.
No, yeah, that's actually makes it a lot cooler.
The title of the podcast should be The Long Pause.
That's dope.
That's dope.
That's clean.
That's clean.
Anyway, so today we're talking about gratitude. It's something that not a lot of people realize, like, is a big part of their day-to-day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a big part of day-to-day is what people do for you.
Yeah, and like a lot of people don't think about all the things that they could be grateful for in a day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, it's hard to do that because you don't see other people's perspectives on things, but
mm-hmm.
like, I would just really want to, like, emphasize that gratitude is important
mm-hmm.
because there's so much you can do. Like, there's so many places that you can go if you just show gratitude to people. And it doesn't even have to be like your parents or your family or
mm-hmm.
your friends. It can be like your waiter or waitress.
Yeah,
like,
and I think with your family and friends though is a good place to start.
If
you're like a
it's
person
a great
that
place to start.
yeah, if you're like a person that's never really been conscious of this, like you never really been conscious of how like grateful you've been to people, or if people have really like received your gratitude. Like, I mean, just starting with being nicer, or not even just being nicer, just being more thankful for what your family does for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because oftentimes your family does a lot more than you're actually realizing, you know?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of stuff you can take for granted that your parents do. Like, if you're still at home, your parents probably do your laundry and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
Just, like, little stuff like that you don't even think about. But it still takes time and effort and work to do, you know?
Yeah.
It's something you could be grateful for.
Yeah, I would definitely say that realizing what other people do, like, is a great thing because obviously they're doing it for you, mm-hmm. and you're getting those things that it's not
putting
necessary.
yourself out and doing that stuff yourself.
Yeah. You don't have to do it yourself, and it's not something that they need to do for you.
Especially if it's something like where someone sets you up with like a higher job opportunity.
Yeah.
Or if it's something like that, where someone like clearly has the choice, not like it's not like they could sabotage you or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like if they have the choice, like, I mean, I could help this guy out or not, you know what I mean? And it would might put them out a little bit to do that, but like just even that little bit is something to be grateful for because you know that's something that it's like a choice a person didn't have to make. But because they thought of you, they made that choice,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, he will benefit from this."
Yeah,
I mean, like you got to realize what other people's perspectives on things they do is.
Yeah, and realizing like you're not coming into this world deserving of anything. Like you don't deserve like the love and care of your parents, but you get it anyway. Like a lot of people don't have that, and I'm not saying. That sounds a little weird. That sounds definitely a little weird. But you need to realize you have to have a mindset
mm-hmm.
of
unconditional gratitude.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And I don't deserve what these people are doing for me because it makes you happier. Like, for me, it has made me happier realizing, like, how much that my parents do, how much that my teachers do, and like how hard they're working for me, and all because just they care about me.
Yeah, and those are all
with
things.
My teachers because I pay them. But,
yeah, they want the money.
But no, they want
the
trying
money.
to go for the bag.
They just think of you as just a cash source. That's all I think.
No. Obviously, your professors and your teachers are gonna care about you because Like, you're in their class, so you obviously want to learn, and they realize that, and they want to teach, and they want to be there, so they're going to care about you.
It's definitely different from like college and high school, you know. I think like high school, there's more of like a personal like commitment for that, because like you're in the same 30-minute person class. Like it's less personal, right, in college, but still like the person doesn't have to go there, and like they're relaying their information to you, and that's something that's so easy to take for granted, because like honestly, a lot of times school can be pretty boring. Like for a lot of people,
it does get really boring.
You got to realize still, it's like someone's doing a job, and you know they're trying to like, and they really are like most of the time trying to like better your life and like make you smarter. And like honestly, it seems like education, like you don't really think of it like, oh, they're really trying to make me a better person here, you know. But I mean, really, getting educated in this world is one of the biggest things that someone can give to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important to be grateful for.
Well, my experience at Eastern has been that my professors have been super, like, they've tried to make the classes personal. Like, if they really, really care about what they do, and they know how to, like, actually get their information through, because they want to get their information through. That's why they're teaching it. They want to make the personal connections, not only because it'll make you better, which is already that's a really good thing to go for.
Yeah.
It's because they care about you as people, as like humans, and
they
care
want you to
about
be successful too.
Yeah, they want you to be like a contributing member to like the society.
Yeah.
And then they got these kids that are like, oh, my teachers suck.
Those kids are just the breathers, bro. They just breathe. I remember
Dang.
Just like a funny
That's tough.
Just like a funny story. Like one time I think it was last year, or no, maybe it was like a few years ago in high school. One of my teachers, he was my math teacher, and he walked in the class one day, and this guy's always like super serious, and like he's always just kind of like seen as like not really like a jerk, but just like kind of like a super serious guy that you can't really joke around with and stuff.
Yeah.
And he comes in and he's like, I was in the office today, guys, and I saw this book called The Oxygen Thief. And, you know, it really reminded me a lot of you guys, because some of you are just sitting here breathing and just stealing the air, and you're not even learning anything.
Oh, my goodness.
I was like, dang, man. Like, dude, that was really funny. That was hilarious, but, like, dang, man.
Dude is a savage.
That was one of the best jokes he's ever told. That was funny. I still remember that. That's
hilarious. That's, like, messed up, but it's hilarious.
It's funny. But, I mean...
The Oxygen Thief.
That's like the most perfect...
Dude.
Like, that's hilarious.
If I do say so myself.
You're an oxygen
savage.
Oh.
Savage.
Sav. But yeah, you know, just like getting back to the topic at hand.
Have gratitude.
Have gratitude.
Yeah, Kevin just yelled into the mic, so we just clipped that out for you guys.
It was funny, though. You guys should have seen it.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways, though.
No, yeah. So definitely have gratitude. Have gratitude for the oh man,
for the
oxygen thief. Yeah, sorry, that just makes me laugh. That's special.
Shout out to all my oxygen thieves out there. You guys are just breathing in class.
No, it's just interesting to like look at life that way, because when you have that perspective, like you don't realize how happy that you can be if you don't have gratitude. Like seriously, like just realizing the extra miles that people go for you.
Yeah.
It's super cool to see, because again, you're not deserving of anything. Because you suck. No, I'm just kidding.
Suck. Oh my god.
No.
I think that...
No, because everybody deserves the most, but you don't come into this world deserving of anything.
Yeah. It's
that's what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Which is a little vague, but like...
It makes... So what I'm understanding is that like when you come to this world, right, you're not going to be given anything. You know, everyone's circumstances are different.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to like earn, really. It depends all on what your situation you're in. But
what I'm mainly saying is, why are we more deserving of these people who have less than us?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that statement means, which is which is kind of like fake deep, but like at the same time it has meaning behind it.
I think it's good. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, I just watched there's a lot of fake deep things going around these days, and like some people won't get the meanings from them. So like fake deep is like when you're trying to be deep, but it's actually not
Fake.
deep at
Yeah,
all.
it's actually fake.
It's actually fake.
I think
no.
fake deep's pretty explanatory.
Yeah, no, I know. Just a little explanation.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things like I saw this picture online. It says life is a collection of moments. And I was like,
wow.
Dang.
I mean that's
never thought of it that way.
It's true. Yeah, it's not really woke, but I mean that's true. It makes. I mean, it's like that's yeah.
That's a fact.
One thing that I think unconditional gratitude also just kind of ties into is like understanding people. You know.
Yeah.
Like because like you were saying when you're grateful for something and you truly have gratitude for like an action someone else did for you, then you're like seeing through their perspective.
Yeah.
Like what they thought and when they did something. You know. And I guess like just all that like can tie into like reading people. You know like. Just all those different little skills of like knowing other people, right? And I think that's just awesome, like an awesome thing to learn in life is just to understand people. You know?
Yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people don't really do, you know, or like take the time
for
to
sure.
like I remember you were telling me about like active listening.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like directly tied into understanding people because like it's just whenever you're actually engaged in a conversation and listening and like you show people that you're listening, like oftentimes they'll reciprocate more like information and stuff to you.
Yeah.
And like that's
straight
dope.
from a communications major.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
I am a
Who is it?
communications major. Oh. Yes, that is me.
Sweet.
Yes. So no, I learned that in a class, active listening. Because there's two sides of a conversation. Obviously, somebody's going to be talking at you. That's communication. But the second side is listening and making sure you're taking in and reciprocating your feelings towards that information back.
Yeah, and that's something that, like, personally, I noticed that I wasn't really doing, like, in the past.
Yeah.
Like, I think now I've improved on, like, active listening, like, just, like, making sure to, like, people know you're engaged.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know for a fact before when I would have conversations with people when I was younger, like, probably, like, 10th grade or, like, 11th grade or something, like, I don't know. But it's just, like, I remember, like, when I would be talking to people, like, it's sometimes, like, for me, sometimes I would just, like, lose focus, kind of.
Yeah.
And, like, just be looking around and not really, like, fully engaged. But when you're fully engaged in a conversation like that, like oftentimes it's like you can build a way better relationship with that person, or you can like learn from them. And that's like I feel like I missed a lot of opportunities there because I wasn't truly like actively like listening to the people. You know?
Yeah. So we talk a lot about PGC on this podcast, Point Guard College, basketball camp that I went to that inspired me to do this podcast. Really, because I think that their information is like so good that it shouldn't just tie to basketball. It doesn't tie to basketball.
Yeah.
It does tie to basketball, but it's not only tied to basketball, and I want to make sure that it gets out in other ways, like this type of information.
Yeah.
So when I was there, I was there learning from the director of a camp named Chad Sanji. He's a really, really great guy. Like he's one of the best guys I've ever met in my life, and he's one of the most influential people in my life to this day, because the way he talked, the way he spoke, the way he carried himself, and what he talked about, the content of his information was just so interesting and like new to me, because he's such like a good person. Like obviously nobody's perfect, and nobody like you can't like I've been conceptualizing like what he talked about as like him as like a perfect like example.
Yeah,
but like
but
I'm
realize...
trying to be like that person for other people, but I realize that obviously you can't be perfect in that way. And I got on a little rant, but like
no, I see what you mean. Like you're talking about like comparing yourself to people like that.
Yeah, I want to be a better person, and he is one of the best people that I have ever met. And I want to be more like him. So like I'm trying to take in his information and give it out.
Yeah.
But not only his information, and I'm not stealing his information.
I'm not stealing anything.
I'm not stealing. I'm not trying to like take anything that he's saying, but I just want to get these stories in like his like
and put your own like learn from it.
Yeah.
So you can apply it to your own life.
Yeah. So, and I want other people to be able to apply it to their life because it helped me so much in my basketball career. I went from not starting or not even playing JV year to the next year I was starting on varsity. Mm-hmm. So that's a huge jump for me.
I think like an important thing for when you're comparing yourself to people that you like you look up to.
Yeah.
Is that like it's like you said to realize that not everyone's perfect, you know, and that there's gonna be flaws no matter who it is.
Yeah.
And if you just set the bar so high that's unrealistic of like being perfect and doing this and this and this, and you kind of like lose yourself in that. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think what's important from becoming like look if you're having a role model is how you can take their information and apply it to your own situation. Because you could say, oh, he does this and he does this at 9 a.m. and does like you can look at their schedule and everything that they do in a day and you can just copy it. But like that's not really you know. I think you should put it to your own stuff and what you do in real life.
Yeah, for sure.
And it could be something like vague, like you're saying, like I don't play basketball at all. But I think like from what Brandon's told me about PGC, and like I feel like I've learned some stuff from them without ever playing basketball. You know, except for like 5th grade rec.
Yeah, 5th grade rec ball.
You know, but that's a different story.
Yeah,
for another podcast.
No, I definitely get what you're saying. But I do want to like say that you should definitely attempt to minimize your flaws, but don't make that the biggest thing. You have to enjoy what you're doing and But anyway, we got off on a tangent, and I was going to talk about a story of unconditional gratitude.
Go right ahead. Brian.
So the director Chad was telling us about how he went out to
I thought isn't Tyler the director?
No, there's two. There's like a bunch of directors, and then there's like a president, but there's like a few directors.
So is Tyler like the president, or is he just a director?
He's a director.
Well, just a director, you know.
No, yeah, he's a director, and he's one of the other directors. For those of you who haven't listened before, he was my last director, most recent director, and Chad was my first one, and he really got me into this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then Tyler just capped it off. Like, they're both amazing people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've never met them, but like from what I've heard, a lot of their stuff can be applied just to life as well.
Yeah,
which is really cool.
That's what they try to do with the teachings at PGC. But back to the story. So Chad was saying that he always like tries to be more unconditionally grateful to like those around him, like his teammates. Like when he was in college playing basketball, he tried to be grateful for his teammates. So he would like send texts to them. He like after every game, like he would send a text to not each and every one, but like pick a few of them, send a text out, tell them what they did well. And tell them how much like you appreciated something that they did.
Yeah, and I think that like when you're in a competitive environment like that, unconditional gratitude is like especially important, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, texting. We've talked about this a lot of times, like texting up like your players after a game and stuff. Like when you're in that kind of environment where there's like deadlines, there's games, there's things you have to do on a certain time, and you have to perform. You're expected to perform at your like highest level on certain like events, right? I think that the unconditional gratitude for that just goes like a much longer way.
Yeah.
Just because when the stakes are there. You know, it's a lot high pressure situation, and then like people knowing that like you can count on them and that you're grateful for them in that situation. I think that boosts the confidence of a whole team or of a whole. It could be applied to a lot of things in life, but like basketball is an easy one to apply it to.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think that's important.
Yeah, so he was telling me about how he would go to first of all he would text his teammates and everything, and he would show his gratitude to them, and then he would show gratitude even to the janitors that would like clean up after the games. He would help them. He would stay back and help them because they don't deserve to just clean up after all these people who don't know how to use a trash can. everybody's leaving all their stuff behind, all their garbage that's probably pretty gross. After games, they gotta pick up gum off the seats and stuff like that. So why not go like a little bit extra mile? Like, is it really gonna hurt your time to like go and just care for somebody else? That was his point to most of his stories. But showing gratitude is really important to everybody, because he would go to another story is that he would go to restaurants, and he would just one important thing of PGC and being a leader is using names in communication, because it shows a level of care that's a little bit higher than normal.
Yeah.
So using the waitresses' names, waitresses' names, it really like showed like you're treating them as a person instead of that. And one time he said that he was at a restaurant, and he was on a camp. He was like at a camp, and they went out to eat, all the people that was working. So the director, and then all the basket instructors and everybody working on the site.
Yeah.
They all went out to eat, and he made a challenge for them to use the waitress's name, and I forget her name. He told us, but
Kim?
No, it was something like that.
You remember from our song?
Yeah. No. So they used their name, and she was like put off at first. It seemed like she was like, oh, like this is new, this is different. She was like distracted by it a little bit, but afterwards, that obviously like they just went through their stuff, and they even they like you continue to use her name, and then they showed gratitude, like thank you so much. And actually one of the parts of the name thing is using names is using it first before a sentence.
Yeah.
So they would say like whatever her name was, and then ask for their order, or whatever her name was, can we get more napkins, whatever her name was, thank you so much for bringing this.
Yeah.
And then afterwards she came up to them, and she was crying. She came up to Chad personally, because obviously like he was the director, so she knew that he was like the head of the table, because everybody was younger than him, obviously.
Yeah.
So because that's who was working with him. And she came up to him, and she was crying, and she said, "This is the first time ever that I have been treated as a person."
And like
in the restaurant business. She said she's been working for 15 years, and that's the first time anybody has ever treated her as a person.
Wow.
So that was like really powerful to me, because I learned that like just showing gratitude in these little things, like it'll get you so far, and it'll help other people too. So that's just like one of the main reasons that I want to I every day want to implement unconditional gratitude into what I do, because I probably didn't tell it as well as him, but like when he told that, it moved me so much. And he has a few other stories of there's this one that actually made me cry. Like it made me cry. It was like so moving and powerful. But other scenarios of like unconditional gratitude, like they would get free meals and stuff. They would get their bill comped just because like they showed that gratitude. And yeah, and that was just really, really, really great to hear.
And I'm sure that going into that, he didn't realize he was going to have that good of that big of an effect on her, right? You know, so like that just shows how far of a way it can go. And I also like the intent. Also, like it shouldn't be an intent to like you know what I mean. Like when you go into the restaurant doing the name thing, you know, like I'm not saying that people should go do that. Like, well, that's obviously a nice thing, but I'm just saying like if you have like it's all about intent as well too. Like if it's someone trying to like look like they're that nice guy or something.
Yeah, you have to do it from a genuine place.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the only way it could get misconstrued.
Yeah.
But that's a really
You have
cool
to
story.
have, along with the unconditional gratitude, like that mindset. You have to have a mindset of, I'm doing this because I care about the other person and I care about how they feel.
Rather than focusing on yourself.
Yeah, like I'm doing this so I can get a free meal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so on that note, I think we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys did enjoy, hit the subscribe button. We're on iTunes. We're
Apple
on Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
And
our Twitter, make sure to follow us at Off the Top 7.
Yeah.
That's our Twitter name. And I think that's about all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
Hope you have an awesome day.
Peace.